The views and opinions expressed on this program do not reflect the company, owners, management, staff, clients, or partners.
It's Friday, the 20th day of January, 2023. Welcome to Bermuda's Daily Talk Show. It's the Daily Hour brought to you by Medical House, One Communications, and Lindos. I'm Jamal Hartman. She's Happy Friday, Sherry Vanderpool, and Tamara McHale will be with us in a bit to bring you the latest in her news break brought to you by People's Pharmacy. Sherry, your favorite day of the traditional work week. How are you?
Is good morning, Jamal. Have you not missed me? Let's start there.
So how are you doing?
I am doing quite well. And I know you've missed me. And I've missed the audience. And it's 20 days into the year. How you feeling?
Oh, I'm good. I'm good. You know, I feeling great. I, fit into all of my suits again. And
Awesome.
I'm ready to eat some fried fish this weekend, though. One of the things I will say, Sherry, is one of the biggest lessons. I've been doing this Daniel fast since 2008, right? And the biggest lessons I've learned, I think this year in particular, is that the best medicine is truly diet and exercise. The reason I say that is it's not about memes or quotes, but when you go to your doctor for your annual and they tell you that your blood pressure is at a certain level and they tell you to take this medication, but then you spend 21 days just eating right and, exercising, you see the results of what that medication is supposed to do for you. So I think, this has probably been the most committed I've ever been to the Daniel fast, because usually it's just eating right and slight exercise, but I really pushed myself. And I think the greatest part is I haven't had temptations to want French fries or my hot potato chips. I haven't had that temptation. That's been the craziest thing.
Well, I'm super proud of you, Jamal. And this is being recorded. I really am. I'm super proud of you. Consistency is definitely a mindset. Discipline is definitely a mindset, motivation, inspiration. And I am very proud of you for sticking with this and really embodying it. Seriously, like literally. So I'm very proud of you.
Let me say, I'm not craving the fried fish. To me, it's almost, I'm going to reward myself with, you know what? Hey, The Rock has one cheat day a week, I think. Let me have that. But I feel more than ever, I'm so encouraged to really push on. We'll get more into that later. But I did run another 5K, second one this morning.
Was it under 10?
No. This was a worse run because I went very light. I literally didn't push this morning. I said I'm jogging, and it was really a very slow one. It was about 11 minutes. About 11 minutes a mile. And I purposely didn't push myself because I was really just, I'm ending my fast on one more day of, just vegetables and grains. And so next week, I'm looking to really push on my times once I start getting a more balanced diet. But yeah, that was a long answer to what Sherry asked.
It was, but I think it still served our audience well.
Indeed. Good morning to you, Karen Simmons. Good morning to you. Happy Friday, Tanya Cheeseman, and Sean DeShields, all thanks to his lovely wife. Oh, she helps with the cooking. Greetings, everyone, and thanks for making us part of your daily routine. A good one today as we welcome Keema Perry of the Powerhouse Academy on. We're discussing balance. I'm always, if you follow Keema on social media, she is a joy. She is what you call inspiration, happiness.
Yes.
So really looking forward to her energy on this show. I remember, I'm gonna say this before she comes out. I remember we were trying to say we wanted her energy on this show. We love Keema. So looking
I
forward.
love Keema too.
Yeah, she's good people, man. The daily play is things you should know. Things you should know. This is a game we started last week with Larry Marshall Jr. and he got it wrong. Last week's question was either or, and he got the or wrong. The last week's question was, does the Statue of Liberty, which hand does the Statue of Liberty hold the torch in? And he got that wrong. So it was either or, 50-50.
Was it the right?
Yes, it is the right. She heard last week, folks. She heard.
I did not. I was in Florida, freezing.
Yeah. All right, she tried to come close to us. Yeah. Don't forget, the show is now available live on our website, thedailyhour.com. So you no longer need social media to tune in, folks. You just have to go to our website, thedailyhour.com, and you can check us out while we are streaming. And if you haven't already, please subscribe on our website and follow us on social media, all of our social media channels, so you can stay up to date. Let's get into today. Well, you know what? It's time for a joke. We haven't had a joke, folks.
I swear that you leave them just for me. I really feel.
No, I don't. Let's start. We got good energy. Keema bringing good energy later on. So let's start with a little joke. Hold on, audience. Do you want to joke this morning? Let's ask the audience. Yes or no? Do you want to joke? They should answer. They deserve a say because
Keema will understand this. I'm going to start tapping Keema.
What that mean?
She knows it's about energy and all that vibrations, and we could just do this, Jamal, and we'll get the same feeling. She'll explain it.
I mean, you see our friends. Karen says I'm ready for a joke now, and we've got Tanya Cheeseman. So here's your joke. Here's your Friday morning pickup. All right.
Not they laugh before the joke.
Since we were focusing on diet and so on, here we go. How can you get rich by eating?
How can you get rich by eating?
Mm-hmm.
Rich by eating. I don't know. I'm not even
ready.
Yeah.
Eat fortune cookies.
So stupid.
Stop.
No comedy shows for you this year, just so you know.
Yeah. Let's get into the conversation. So a lot's been happening in Bermuda, folks. A lot's been happening. Thank you, Tanya Cheeseman. Thank you. A lot's been happening this year. And we've got to have a conversation about what's been happening. So I'm just going to go to Twitter real quickly. Dwayne Robinson, who is a former senator for the One Bermuda Alliance and a candidate as well, he basically posted on Twitter that the premier is bragging about gas prices while every other cost increases. And then he goes on to say, basically show what the PLP has promised that hasn't followed through on. He says vertical farm stalled, arbitration center stalled, South P stalled, casino gaming stalled, infrastructure fund defunct, workforce unsustainable, right? And then yesterday, let me bring it up on my phone. Yesterday we had give me a second. The rising costs forced closures of Fridays, right? Fridays, right? So Fridays is a restaurant, and so people were commenting on the race, but the Royal Gazette's Facebook page about this. But I found most interesting Rick Olson, who at times tunes into the show. He wrote, restaurants have been exempt from a lot of taxes these last few years, the biggest problem has been our decline in population, air arrivals, and the elimination of the middle class. Another commenter said, I remember my nana saying this about 20 years ago, may God rest her soul. She said, in the near future, there will only be the rich left and foreign service workers serving them because all middle class would have left. So said, so done. A lot of different comments, sad to see it, and the like. But I guess with that, and then, casino gaming seeming like the company that was in it with Hamilton Princess is backing out, just taking too long. And that list that I just provided by former Senator Dwayne Robinson, the question of the morning is very simple for the audience. How can we rebuild confidence in Bermuda for Bermudians? How can we rebuild confidence in Bermuda for Bermudians? Because Sherry, I hit Sherry up earlier this week, and she knows when I send a voice note during the day. Well, wait, if either we ask what you want, and she said what you want without even listening to my voice note, just so you all know how she treats me. But anyway, I sent a voice note because I was on the phone with one of my boys, and he's over in England visiting his son, and he's just telling me the amount of Bermudians that he didn't know were over there who were there, right? And it's interesting when we have this conversation, because if one part is in power, people say, oh, you're pushing people out of the country. If another part is in power, people say people have always left Bermuda, right?
Right.
There's no statistics to say whether people are leaving in greater numbers today. At least we can't find them. But I think it's fair to say that Bermudians, whether they've left or not, seem to have lost confidence in Bermuda, whether that's the economy, whether that's the government, whether it's everything altogether. But the question this morning is, how can we rebuild confidence in Bermuda for Bermudians? How can we get Bermudians to number one? And this goes to retail as well. Bermudians are not shopping locally, right? They're spending money on Amazon and sites. I mean, you heard people talking about Shein or talking about DHL and FedEx getting the deliveries right. How can we rebuild confidence in Bermuda for Bermudians? Because what's that saying, Sherry? If a happy employee creates a happy customer. Like if your employee,
something to that effect.
Something to that. Yeah. It's not exact, folks, but you've got to have happy employees to have happy customers. But we need to find a way. It's all good talking about attracting investment and finding tourists, but at the end of the day, and I'm not defending the BTA because they need all the defense they can get, the things they, but we're not going there today. But it's almost impossible for them to be successful without happy Bermudians, right? People who are doing their part. But that's the question. How can we build confidence in Bermuda for Bermudians? What you got, Sherry?
It's really a difficult question, Jamal. I think a lot of things go hand in hand in order to build the confidence. One of the things on my list of comments was shopping locally, and shopping as much as you can locally. However, but then you have the rising cost that deters persons from doing so. And the rising cost then becomes also somewhat an issue with government and somewhat it doesn't, for the simple fact that if the cost is rising here in the United States, then what happens when it arises? So it's such a hand in hand and situation to even say how can we build it. And I guess in reference to, you just have to start within yourself and see what it is that you can do for the economy or you can do for the community. I feel like it's going to come down to an individual consensus rather than a group one before it can become that group consensus.
Well, you made me think of something. Let's do a poll of the audience. Audience, let us know yes or no. Do you have confidence in Bermuda? No matter what that means, it's a broad question. It could be the economy, the government, whatever. Do you have any sort of confidence in Bermuda? Yes or no, audience? Sorry to cut you off, Sherry. Go ahead.
That's okay. And so it's just layered. We didn't get here at this point immediately. It's been a slow decline for like this, the comment said, over 10 to 15 years. It's been a slow decline to where we are now. And the fact that you indicated that so many people live abroad, I was shocked even by these answers and numbers, thinking of that. And what, I guess the other part of the question is, what are those getting who are leaving from where they are now? Where are they living, and what are they getting from that that is different from what they are getting in Bermuda? And I think that would also help to answer the question. Some of them sound like it's better jobs. Some I've heard have had better government assistance for their particular situations. The cost of living seems to be something that is doable for the persons that are there. So it's a hand in hand comment situation, and it's very difficult, I think, to answer, because one has to help the other.
Yeah, interesting. Asking people, do they have confidence in Bermuda? Michelle White says yes. Traveling Trotty says yes. Tanya Cheeseman says yes. Sean DeShield says hell no, a complete vote of no confidence. People need to get woke, as the economy will most likely get worse before it improves. I'll put it this way. Do I have confidence in Bermuda? It's a broad question. So if I'm going to answer that, I'm going to tell you what I have confidence in. I have confidence in the Bermudian people. Yeah. And why do I have confidence in the Bermudian people? Because I actually do believe we have a talented population of people. I really do think Bermuda has a wealth for such a small island. It's a lot of talent. Think of the guests we have on this show. It's a talented, like Keema this morning. I think she is a wealth of knowledge, right? Jody Virgil this week, right? We have very talented people. The challenge is those people having the opportunity to showcase and express their talents for the benefit of the country. That's where I think the challenge is. Do I have confidence in the economy? I don't. Bermuda's not a country where we're in debt and we can just go and print more money like the U.S. Right? I don't think Bermuda's as attractive as destination as. And I say this to be honest with Bermudians. This is not to crap on Bermuda at all, but Bermuda's not special. Bermuda's not as great a destination as we may think. When I see people putting pictures up of saying, oh, where else in the world can you see a sunset like this? Colorado, Mauritius, Germany.
Yeah.
Like, seriously, we've got to get this thing out of our heads that Bermuda's this special destination that offers Bermuda does not offer anything differently. The most beautiful thing that Bermuda offers differently, that makes it special, is what I just said. And that's the people, the talent. And unless we find ways to get the most and support the talent that's within the island, I just don't see it. So I have confidence in the Bermudian people, but that's as far as it goes. Those people need the freedom to express and bring it. How can we rebuild confidence in Bermuda for Bermuda and Bermudians? How can we rebuild confidence in Bermuda for Bermudians? Michelle White says, first, we have to believe we have a future in our country. Second, what can we do to make it better in spite of our government choice? Third, choose government officials who will hold both parties accountable. I agree. First, we have to believe in our country. No, we have to believe in ourselves. I think that would be number one. Believe in ourselves and our country. I do agree with that. I think we have to find ways to be successful regardless of who's government.
Yeah. I'm not sure about that third piece.
Yeah. I don't. Obviously, governments that set laws, policies, and legislation, but it's really I've always said, we have to create lives that don't depend on who the government is. That's how other groups of people have been able to do it, and we need to find a way to do it as well. Sean DeShield says increased job creation, upward mobility of minority workers, reduction in crime strategies, reduction or reducing the size of the government workforce, fleece, and public funds. I definitely agree. Reducing. I don't think anyone would disagree. We have to reduce the size of government. It's not sustainable. It's been proven unsustainable. Sean DeShields, Shamari Talbot, how can we rebuild the confidence in Bermuda for Bermudians? Shamari Talbot says, yes, I have confidence. that self-preservation will prevail. If Bermuda fails, we all do. So in the long run, we have no choice but to survive. I love it. I love it. I love it. And Sam Cat Play says she has mixed feelings about it. I think again, self-belief. You know, I believe in myself enough to know that, you know, I can make a difference whether I'm in Bermuda or not. Quick question though, and Sherry, this is way off, and I know you and I have to deal with this from a legal perspective anyway. The United States is one of the only countries where if you possess citizenship of the US and you live elsewhere, you have to pay taxes. Yes. There are a lot of Bermudians, right, who don't live in Bermuda. Do you think, and I'm telling you, no, I'm not advocating for this because I'm a Bermudian, don't live there, right? But do you think because of Bermuda's financial struggles, they should have a tax to collect revenue from Bermudians who no longer live there? So you all may say, well, what's the benefit? Well, it won't impact me because I don't have a Bermuda passport, right? But, you know, there are benefits to having a Bermuda passport as far as traveling to the US. On a UK passport, you need ASTA, right? But just a quick question on that. Do you believe that the government of Bermuda should look at taxing Bermudians who live overseas? And again, let me be clear. I am not advocating for it. I'm just saying I know the United States is one of the few countries that do it, but Bermuda's government needs revenue. Do you think that that is something that they should consider? No. Go ahead.
Yeah. No, that's an interesting thought, Jamal, because I never thought of that even for myself. While living in Bermuda and working, yes, you had to at least file to indicate what you, and there's a cap on what did you pay taxes on. So let's just say you made $100,000 and up, then you had to pay taxes. Anything below that, you just needed to file. So never thought of that and didn't realize that United States was the only country. I should have known that.
I think they're one of the only. I'm not sure if they're the only, but I think they're one of the only countries that do it. I was trying to find out the other countries that do it, but yeah, the U.S. is unique in this. In terms of because of you know, people avoiding tax and so on. But yeah, you have to file tax if you are a U.S. resident or a citizen overseas. You do have to file your income, and there's a cap. So if you're making less than a certain amount, you don't have to pay taxes. But if you're making over a certain amount, you do. But audience, you're silent. What are your thoughts on that? Do you think that the government of Bermuda should consider that for Bermudians who are living outside of Bermuda? Again, it could be as a Bermudian or, I mean, there's really no such thing as a Bermudian, but I mean, status Bermudian. If you're a status Bermudian, do you think that the government should tax Bermudians? I don't know what that would look like, that structure, but at the end of the day, this government seems to think the only way to generate money is taxing people. And I'm not trying to give them ideas. Don't blame me because you know it won't be the first time they've taken ideas and run with them from me. But anyway,
if it does come back, it was Jamal's thoughts.
Hey, folks, she ain't lying. She ain't lying. So what are your thoughts? Traveling Trotty says no. Tanya Cheeseman says that is an interesting question. Thought, she says, interesting thought. And Renee Simmons says, U.S. have taxes to be paid regardless where you live because of their employment tax filing, which the citizens receive back and no, they don't. I don't receive it. Let me be clear with that, because you all hold on. Let me be very clear. Everybody, I'm gonna be very vulnerable and share something. I wish I received money back every year. Do not believe every American or citizen or resident receives money back at the end of the year. That is a bold-faced lie or a misunderstanding of the U.S. tax system.
Yeah, it just
receive tax back, but believe you me, not everybody does. People in my circle end up paying probably what most people get in salaries in taxes. I have not received money back probably since 2005 when I was working Radio Disney.
Really?
Yes, always. My friends, minimum $8,000 a year. We owe no. So do not believe that living in oh boy, tax season. I don't. That's the one downfall about living in the U.S. for me, man.
Yeah, it just all depends on it takes it's a lot of factors in it. It definitely, if you have some children,
yes,
you're winning.
But
you're winning.
I was thinking, Sherry, I was thinking the other day, I was like, man, maybe, go out there and get about 5-10 children. I might work out for me, but I'm joking.
You automatically, I think, get
Yeah.
between 3,000 to 5,000 in return if
Yeah.
you have per child.
Yeah. But again, depending on what you do for a living,
Yes.
do not believe that. It really depends on the state you live in, how you live in, and so on. And again, every state's different, whether it's state, city, and federal taxes. All right, let's go to these final comments. We've got Tamara McHale backstage and Keema. So we've got a lot to get through, folks.
Yes.
Shari Talbot says, in my opinion, it will cost the government too much money to collect the taxes and prosecute the offenders. Well, keep in mind, not everyone in the U.S. gets prosecuted. They get audited, and it's few and far between. But you don't want to be audited. But I'm just saying. Sam Play says no, because even though they are living somewhere where the value of good is less, their income is likely not disposable to handle Bermuda's taxes. I know there's a lot of Bermudians making a hefty bunch elsewhere. Charles H. Jeffs II says, I think there would also need to be election reform, as currently Bermudians living outside of Bermuda Canada. Brother Charles, that's what I was going to bring up. Literally, if someone said yes, I was going to like, well, where's that right to vote for them? If you're expecting me to pay taxes, then you better give me that right to vote. Sean DeShield says the idea might be a problem as the current government is unable to effectively collect taxes from many employers on island. Bingo, there you go. Shika Rayna, our sister, says I don't get money back at the end of the year. Exactly, Shika. That is a
Shika.
Renee Simmons says the Americans that I know live here file so they can get their return. I know because I had to sign off several tax filings on behalf of U.S. citizens married to Bermuda. Yeah. That's few and far between. What we're saying is, Renee, is in my circle, trust me, ain't nobody getting nothing back. And again, it depends on how much you make. So the people that I know,
how much you make,
and
how much you claim, and
and so on. But
yeah,
I wish, I'm gonna be honest, I wish I got money back because it could go, yeah. Brother Charles says you need to increase your deductions. Trust me, we're live on air, Charles. I'll talk to you later. Let's go bring Tamara McHale in. We've got the news break coming up. And Keema Perry, good conversation. If you enjoyed this morning's discussion, give us a thumbs up.
That was great.
Let's get to the news break.
Fun.
Well, hello. How are you?
Good morning. I'm good. Good morning. All right. Well, this is the Daily Hour News Break for today, Friday, January 20. Wow. Brought to you by the People's Pharmacy. So heading right into it in the news today, unfortunately, we start off on a sad note because 2 more people have died as a result of the coronavirus. The government has confirmed in its latest update. The news brings the total number of deaths from COVID-19 to 157 in Bermuda. Additionally, there are 13 people in hospital being treated for the virus, 6 more than the previous update last Wednesday, including 1 who is in ICU. And there are a further 25 active cases who are not in hospital, bringing the total number of active cases to 38, 4 more than a week ago. So now with the majority of testing now taking place at home and going unreported, the Ministry of Health has acknowledged that a true picture of COVID-19 cases could not be known. However, the number of hospital cases can act as a barometer for the extent of the virus's spread and its severity. And of course, in December, health officials confirmed a highly contagious variant of the virus on the island.
Yeah, very sad. Keep yourselves safe, folks. Keep yourselves safe.
Indeed. Absolutely. Still in Bermuda, there was a collision involving 2 motorcycles on Middle Road in Paget yesterday evening, January 19. And the police said early information indicates that 2 persons were hurt and that their injuries may be serious. That's according to a police spokesperson. So they're saying that any witnesses are encouraged to call 211 as soon as possible.
Sending good energy, healing vibes to those involved.
Yep. And an update here following the 4 dog biting incidents recently, the Department of Environment and Natural Resources said that full implementation of the Dogs Act 2008 in this first calendar quarter will mandate that all incidents of dogs causing injury to be reported and ticketing for minor offenses under the Dogs Act 2008 will also begin. According to a government spokesperson, the Department of Environment and Natural Resources can confirm that animal control officers responded to 4 dog biting incidents last Friday, January 13. Now, to address this, there will be the full implementation of the Dogs Act 2008, and that will mandate that all incidents of dogs causing injury to be reported. Additionally, several professions will be legally required to report these incidents, particularly those in the medical and veterinary fields. Also, dog owners will be held accountable and should now make an effort to license, legitimize, and securely keep their dogs in compliance with the Dogs Act 2008.
Yep, I agree. I agree.
Is that a dog I hear barking for real?
Yeah, they're in the background.
Big guy.
What else you got for us?
All right. In some other regional news, an update on the election in Antigua and Barbuda, which took place on Wednesday. So the incumbent Prime Minister Gaston Brown, he won again. And so yesterday, Thursday, he was sworn in for a third consecutive term as Prime Minister of Antigua and Barbuda. And he led the ruling Antigua and Barbuda Labour Party to victory in the general election after that party won 9 out of 17 seats. And quickly, a new United Nations report overview of food security and nutrition 2022 finds that 22.5% of Latin America and the Caribbean population cannot afford a healthy diet. In the Caribbean, the figure reaches 52%. So the problem, they say, is related to different socioeconomic and nutritional indicators. So yes, and that's also they're looking at the country's income level, the incidence of poverty, and the level of inequality, which causes this in some cases.
This is huge to me. It's a big problem. I just believe that I don't believe that food should be a privilege. I think food should be a right, and access to real food, not the stuff that's made up packaged. But I think we should all have access to it. So I think we have to talk about this a bit more. But thank you for that story, Tamara. I definitely want to discuss that more.
Definitely. And finally, a bit of entertainment on this Friday. So Grammy-winning Jamaican star Shaggy, or Real World, that's his real name, says the world is ready for soca music and soca-infused hybrid songs. And so he's currently working on a soca EP, which will feature contributions from some of soca music's biggest and most accomplished acts. Now, Shaggy addressed the media in Trinidad and Tobago on Tuesday during a virtual news conference hosted by Trinidad's Kez the Band to reveal the details surrounding the band's annual concert scheduled for February 14 at the Brian Lara Cricket Academy in Trinidad, and asked about his reasons for his collaboration with Kez now and for recording soca music again. Shaggy revealed that he has a full soca hybrid EP in the works and that their song Mood is just the first of many to come. So guys, you can check out Mood on YouTube. Actually, over the holidays, I saw Shaggy and Kez performing live here in Jamaica, and it was so much fun. And my friends got pictures with them, so we had a blast.
So hold on.
That is awesome.
Pictures and you didn't?
No, because they like my girlfriends, they came down from the States, from Jersey, and so they are crazy about soca and Kez.
Okay.
So I took the photos with them. Yeah, I only took with Chris Gale because he was partying with us as well.
Okay.
It was like a lot of celebs at this party.
Sherry, have you seen like the song that they made on YouTube?
No, I haven't seen it yet. I think it's a great pivot for him.
It's energy. Like it was. I think I saw a snippet on Twitter of them in the studio. Like I was like, yeah, this is a hit. This is a hit.
And we can't go without saying our Bermudian influence. Of course, we know Damon Graff manages Cast the Dance.
Does Damon still manage Cast? Yes.
Oh yeah. See, the connection, the Caribbean connection is strong.
You feel
All right.
me?
And wrapping it up in the weather in Bermuda, as high pressure winds, a low moving to our north, will soon drag a warm front near us. Then winds rapidly become strong and gusty today ahead of a cold front due to cross later tonight. So lingering cloud will thin to allow more sunshine over the weekend, though it will feel a bit cooler. And here in Jamaica, it's partly cloudy across northeastern parishes, but mainly sunny elsewhere, including where I am in Kingston, Jamaica.
Hey, I love how it always ends on that sunny, and I'm just like, man,
I have an amazing view, and it's like bright and sunny.
Awesome.
Hey, I'm not saying, folks. She's bringing the sunshine for you, whether you like it or not, and I think they love it. Sherry, what day is it of the year? What are we looking at today?
So today is International Day of Acceptance. This is the day to fill our hearts with the awesome powers of acceptance. It's important to be accepting of certain things in life. The idea of unquestionably holds in the case of accepting the disability of the person. This is a day when people all over the world come together and embrace the challenges that come along with having a disability. International Day of Acceptance was created as a way to recognize social acceptance of disability. Also in this day in music in 1971, Tamla Records releases Marvin Gaye's single, What's Going On, about police brutality from the album of the same name.
Oh, nice. Yes. Good fact. I thought you was going to say it's releasing Sexual Healing. I don't know why that's on my mind. Look, have yourself a wonderful weekend. Down in sunny
I'm just going to stay right here. I'm going to stay right here.
That was one of my favorite jams.
I'm sure.
Your mind's on the gutter. We'll see you next week tomorrow. Have a great one.
Have a great one. Bye.
All right, Mara McHale, folks, do not go anywhere. We've got a great conversation coming up with, I call her Miss Energy. Keema Perry is on the show, folks. Do not go anywhere. Sherry, get your mind on the gutter.
Yours stays.
People's ACW, located at King Edward VII Memorial Hospital, carries over-the-counter medicines, toys, cards, and even toiletries. Our knowledgeable staff are there whether you're at emergency, visiting family, or a member of BHB staff, to show you our best even when you're feeling your worst. People's ACW, we're here for you.
Welcome to the new bulk store, Lindo's Next Level. Wake up in the morning with enough coffee to keep you running throughout the entire day. Your pet at home deserves the best. Stock up on dog food to keep your puppy happy. Need a quick, tasty lunch at home? Your chicken nuggets will be jumping right out of the freezer. What's a movie night without popcorn? You can never have too much. Lindo's Next Level. Why go anyplace else?
Mom's celebrating her 70th birthday next month. Have you noticed her age is catching up with her?
Yeah. Plus, she's having a hard time getting up and around like she's used to. I would sure hate to see her fall.
At Medical House Limited, we can help make life situations easier. We have electric beds, motorized scooters, bath stools, walkers, you name it.
Mom's been real good to us. We'll get her birthday and Christmas gifts from Medical House.
Medical House has relocated next to the Dandytown Field, number 6 Bakery Lane, Pembroke. Telephone 292-3622.
All righty, welcome back to the big show. Sherry Vanderpool, I'm Jamel Hartman. It's the Daily Hour brought to you by Medical House, One Communications, Lindo's, and People's Pharmacy. Folks, if you don't know, Sherry.
Now you know.
Gee, come on, Biggie, come on. Anyway, you no longer need social media to tune into Bermuda's Daily Talk Show. Folks, just go on our website, thedailyhour.com. You can tune in. No, you can't engage with us on there yet, so you'll still need to be on YouTube or Facebook to comment or type, your rude comments to Sherry. But you can watch us on thedailyhour.com. All right, without further ado, let's bring in our guest for the day. We've got Keema Perry from the Powerhouse Academy. We're talking about balance. Give her a warm TDH welcome, folks. Welcome. How are you?
Good morning. Friday. Happy Friday. Friday is my favorite day as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, Sherry loves a Friday. I tell you, she loves a Friday. Do us a favor. Just you're very low. If you can bring yourself up a bit. There you go. Yeah.
Okay.
Perfect. don't want people miss you, because the smile is going to make everybody's day better. Trust me. But Keema, thank you so much for doing this. And coming on and being prepared to engage with our audience. But for those who don't know you, before we get right into balance and the conversation, just explain to people, share with people, who is Keema Perry and what exactly is the Powerhouse Manifesting Academy?
Okay, so I am Keema Perry. I love to describe myself as a powerful creator and a master manifester. So Powerhouse Manifesting Academy, what shall I say? It is a safe virtual space for people. It's almost like a school, but I like to refer to it as the school of unlearning. Unlearning those things that we learned in traditional school setting that is no longer serving us. So this is about coming back to yourself, learning more about yourself, who you are, why you're here, and what it is you truly desire. So I work with people through one-on-one coaching, and I work with people through group coaching classes.
Interesting. And just speak to us, you're a former educator. As a former educator, what made you decide to venture out on your own in this respect?
So many factors. It was almost a journey and something that was meant to be. So when I turned 40, something happened. It was like a light bulb just switched on. It was like I wanted more out of life. I wanted to do things differently, but I couldn't see myself as doing anything outside of the class. It's a gift that I have. It's something that I'm really, really good at. And so when I first started on the journey, I actually was making organic skincare products. But for those who know me personally, I don't like being in the kitchen. Why I would even try that, I don't know. But the thing was, I didn't realize that my gift is just being me and that I could actually receive money teaching and doing the things that I love. So 2019, I just really felt that call. I felt that call that, this is it, Keema. And I kept getting that voice, but I felt like I wasn't ready. I had so much on my plate. And I think when I really think about it now, the number one reason was because I realized how much of my time, my hours at school was taken from my family, taken from different things. I had aging parents and they needed me. I just felt like I was stretched in so many different directions. And I remember very clearly the day that I made the decision. The school system at that time was going into a new grading system. And I don't know, usually when people gave me new things, I was the one that remembered the flu. I was the one like, come on guys, we can do it, we can figure it out. But for some reason that got to me and I came home in tears and I said to my husband, this is it. This is it. I'm done.
Yeah.
Now, having said that, I am, sometimes on contract. Now that I do have some time, I go in and I do have the opportunity to go in as a substitute. And going in as this version of me is just completely different. And I'm just so glad that I say yes.
Yeah.
Let me just say that. Yes.
I think there's the way you said what you just said. It's not even what you said, but I think the way you expressed it, I think is going to give someone tuned in right now a boost of confidence. I think the courage that it took to do what you explained just now, I'm hopeful, because if it's one thing I've learned, especially through the pandemic, is that there are a lot of people who are in the situation that you were in. They just don't know what that next step is or how to take it. And I congratulate you on, and again, everyone's circumstances are different. Not everyone's probably has the foresight to kind of, take those steps. But I still think that sometimes we don't know that we become living examples for others. And I think for someone out there, you just sharing that could have inspired them, because we do get a lot of people after shows sending us stuff. And I'm pretty sure we'll get some messages about that. But switching gears, Keema, we're talking about balance, and this term's become very popular over the last decade. Life work balance, right? But just explain as we jump into balance, what is balance to you?
And I'm glad that you use those words, life work balance. And I think that's actually the problem with balance, that we're looking outside of ourselves. We're trying to say, okay, how can I put my time here, put my time with work, put my time with family, put my time with different things. When I believe in what I teach is that balance is an inside job. And it's us looking within and paying attention to what is it that feels out of sorts? Why am I feeling like this? And the moment we go within and take care of our inner world and really start listening to what we're being called to do or how we're to do things differently, once we do that, that's when things fall into balance in the outside world. Now, I know in the entrepreneur world, like work-life balance, they say is no such thing. And that's one thing that I know that I'm called to do, is to show us that we can create that feeling of balance from within, so that when we do give our time, we're not showing up out of obligation. It's something that we want to do, enjoy doing, and that's my thoughts. That's my different take on balance.
I'm just excited to talk to you anyway. We will forget Jamal's here for a hot second. And, creating balance is a lot. So what are the main areas that one should focus on when thinking about balance? Because sometimes we're out of balance trying to think about balance.
Yes.
Trying to put it in balance. Like, what is that?
All right. The first part is, so what I like to guide people through is heart, mind, body, spirit. Just think of these 4 things: heart, mind, body, spirit. So your heart is you listening to your intuition through traditional teaching, through so many things that we've been taught. It doesn't teach you to trust your inner knowing. We believe in what the authorities say, although sometimes we know in our heart, this is what's best for me. And so now it's coming back to listening to your inner knowing. So when you had that hunch, start paying attention, start following it. With your mind, it's important to be conscious and to be aware of what you are filling your mind with. So that shifting your mindset, the first step is really just opening your awareness. What are the thoughts that I am thinking? Because our self-talk, like, we worry about what other people are saying about us, but we judge ourselves far more than anybody else possibly could. So with the mind, it's now changing that self-talk so that you are your greatest cheerleader. I think, Jamal, you touched on it earlier about the government. We're waiting for all of these people outside of us to fill us up and to do the things that if we actually trust in ourselves, we can do it for ourselves. With your body, you already know what you need to do with your body. You do not need anybody to tell you you need to exercise, or you need to change your eating, or you need to eat healthy. So pay attention. What is your body calling you to do? And when you start doing those things, you're going to change how you feel. And the last tip is spirit. Whatever spirit is to you, be in contact with your higher power, whether it's God, whether it's source, whether it's the universe, whether it's your higher self. It's your energy. Your energy shows up when you walk in the room before you even open your mouth. So now it's time to, like, how is it that I want to feel? And connect with your higher power to give you the guidance so that you know what your next steps are and you know exactly what to do. So it's all about creating balance within your heart, mind, body, and spirit.
But I want to jump in there because you said something that really struck me. And, former PLP leader Mark Bean always quoted Marcus Garvey about self. I think I'm big on that. And I think people mistake things when it's not explained. I don't want to say I'm misunderstood, because I just think people have no they can't grasp understanding because of what they don't want to hear at times. But I want to touch on that for a real quick second. Yesterday, I've taken the advice of Craig Simmons and try to leave a lot of news and social media alone. But I couldn't escape that in Florida, the governor, Ron DeSantis, apparently has banned African American studies in schools in Florida. Well, if anyone wants to check my social media going back probably 10 years, I've been saying it's not the responsibility of others to educate our children, right? I'm not saying I support the right to remove our history from anywhere. But if those children weren't learning about Marcus Garvey, who was telling us how to do for self, they weren't getting a proper education about our history anyway. So why do I bring that and tie it into what you just said? It's because that point expands beyond what you're saying. It expands beyond just our eating habits and exercise or government and waiting for people to do this. If you get me it redundant tomorrow, you had a skill that made that company money, or at least I hope you did. Yeah. There's nothing stopping you from finding a way within. I am tired of hearing Black people say, oh, well, not everyone's entrepreneurs. Maybe you can't do accounts or finances, but you have the ability to do for yourself, and you can hire somebody to do that for you. So I just wanted to expand on that point, Keema, because I think it's too important for us to always just go in a corner, complain and mope when we have it within us. I always say some of the solutions to the problems we face, most of them are within. So I hope people really take that from what you said just now. I'm sorry.
I mean,
part of that is understanding, because it's difficult sometimes when you're in it, when you don't have the money for the bills, or you don't feel like you have this support. And to help you with that is saying, look, to your higher power, this is what I am seeing right now. I cannot see another way. Show me the way. Help me to see. Help me to understand. Show me what I haven't seen. Help me to hear what I haven't heard. Help me to do what I don't think I'm capable of doing. But it's bringing it back to the other part of you. We've been humanized, right? We know how to be humans. We're great at being humans, but we forget that there is a spiritual side of ourselves, and our spiritual side is infinite. And when we tap into that, that's when infinite possibilities open for us. So for every problem, there are infinite solutions. So I just had to piggyback on that as well.
Agreed.
Well, and I hope that everyone is writing down all of these gems that you are just throwing at us, because they are all coming together and they all mean so much. And you just touched on, again, tapping into that infinite power, but how can balance be achieved? I know we spoke about that infinite power, but what are some other ways that balance can be achieved?
So here's what's coming through. A lot of times, and especially in January is the energy of newness. It's also the energy of this is what I have to do. And I think some questions that we have not been programmed to ask ourselves is, what is it that I need to take off my plate this year? What is it? Who is it that I need to say no to? What are the boundaries that I need to put in place so that I can feel more balanced, grounded, and at peace? And I think it's shifting from balance is something that we have to do this, do that, to balance is how we feel. Am I feeling balanced? What is my energy? What energy am I in right now? And is the energy that I want to keep this momentum going? So for instance, I was feeling unwell earlier this week, and I felt myself just, going down that hill of, oh no, where I know that the moment I decided I get to shift my energy, I get to feel better, the power within me is greater than anything that is happening around me. As soon as I tap into that, that's when my energy shifts. So, for instance, we like telling our story of those things that have happened to us that are challenging. And I think there is something very therapeutic in getting it out. But at the same time, we have to shift from telling the same story that creates the same emotions to focusing on the solution. So I said a lot just now, but really creating balance is asking yourself, what is it that I need to do for me right now to feel more balanced? You have the answer. Tap into the first thing that comes to mind, write that down, and the most important part is to follow through.
And that is the key part. And I was going to say, although you've said wonderful things, it's for myself, I can speak. It's the consistency to follow through. And I hope that the audience hears what consistency, or sees through yourself what consistency can look like. But with so many things going on in the world, like financial hardships, unhealthy lifestyles, and persons working many hours, what are the methods you recommend to achieve balance with so much going on in one's life?
Make non-negotiable time for you. I'm going to say that again. Make non-negotiable time for you. You look, we get caught up in this work race. What I learned, even me walking away, any of us, when we walk away from a job, we are replaced. We need to take care of ourselves, and we need to make that top priority, even if it starts with 5 minutes a day. So some of the things that I love to do every single morning, even if it's 5 minutes. So this morning I had to be on here very early, so my morning routine was short, but I make sure that I meditate. I make sure that I take the time to just quiet my mind, kind of get my answers. I make sure that I move my body in some way, whether it be I go walk on the beach, whether it be I go for a walk around the neighborhood, but I make sure that I'm moving my body. And I do what I call future scripting. I write out my life as I want it to be, as if it already is, and just doing that every day. When I walked away from my job in 2019, I go back and look at my journals from 2015. I was writing, I am walking away from my job. I am walking away from my job. So it's getting in the energy of it and being willing to slow down, make time for you, and invite more ease in. You are your priority. The amount of time that you spend doing everything for everyone else, scrolling endlessly on social media, there are blocks in your day that you can make time for you. When you have a break at work, take your break. Take a break. Our ancestors worked way too hard for us to work through our breaks. I understand that there are times when maybe you have to get things done, but this is the call for us to take our breaks. We need to get used. We're so used to being in struggle. We're so used to being on the struggle bus. We're so used to doing everything for everyone else. And now it is our call, especially in the Black community. It's not that far ago that our ancestors were slaves, and they're used to working for free. So of course we're going to put in the extra time when we make money, right? But now is the call to slow down, make time for you, make you your priority, take those breaks, and infuse what you know you need to do for you into your day. Make it a daily practice. I'm telling you, having these daily practices has shifted. Like 2019, that would take forever for me to go through all these stories, but my parents had major medical emergencies, and still, I was away, we were at Johns Hopkins, I still did these same things. They need to become a habit. And your family needs to understand this is my time.
Yeah. I mean, you've just, again, said major things that I hope that the audience really, really hear. And if they haven't, Keema, where can they find you and make contact with you to help you achieve balance in their lives?
So my fave hangout spot is Instagram. You can find me at Instagram at Powerhouse Manifesting Academy. You can send me an email through powerhouseacademybermuda@gmail.com. I am also on Facebook. Again, Powerhouse Manifesting Academy.
All right, Keema Perry, thank you so much. I really appreciated this conversation. I just shared this with you. Samantha Aguirre says, I feel like Ms. Keema Perry. Thank you, amazing convo. Tanya Cheese, and love it. I'll say this much. Honestly, don't be a stranger. We appreciate this. There's so many different things that you do. And I just find it interesting. We just had Jody Virgil on the other day, another former educator. We've had a lot of former educators who have kind of taken the skills as educators into other spaces. And I think you all are offering something that our community needs. So congratulations to you. Thank you to you. And please do not be a stranger. If we can be of assistance or there's something going on that you believe you can add value to, please reach out. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Keema Perry, folks, if you appreciated today's conversation, please give us a thumbs up, a love, a like. Make sure you share these conversations, powerful community conversations from great people within our community. We're going to take a quick break. We'll come back, we'll have the daily play, and we'll wrap it up with our final thoughts before we send you off for the weekend. Stick with us.
A lot happens around your home. That is why at One Communications, we have introduced affordable security and video monitoring, because everyone should be able to afford to protect their family. Anytime, from anywhere, One Home Security keeps you connected and puts security in your hands with an easy-to-use smartphone app to control everything. Home security is important to keep you and your family safe. Motion-activated cameras around your home and security monitoring within create a complete security system providing protection both inside and outside your home. Professional monitoring means that there's someone on call with 24/7 protection to notify the authorities and help keep you and your loved ones safe. We are dedicated to whole home protection with indoor and outdoor cameras, smart door locks, motion sensors, and more, so you'll always be connected to what matters most. With professional installation, no upfront hardware fees, and low monthly rates, because keeping your family safe should be affordable for everyone. Total home video monitoring and security. There's no better way to protect your home than with One Home Security.
Thanks again to Keema Perry for that conversation from the Powerhouse Manifesting Academy. Really, really appreciate that, folks. Please share these conversations. Thanks again to One Communications, Medical House, People's Pharmacy, also for ensuring we can have them. I'm just going to have a big shout out. I just came across something in the Royal Gazette titled Bermuda Couples Amazing Wedding Nabs Bride's Attention. And it says Valencia and Daniel Johnson became instant celebrities after their wedding was chosen for a spread in brides. The ceremony, planned by Onikki Hartman of Onikki Occasions and shot by... Let me stop there. You know what's up. You know what's up.
Listen to you.
Hold up. The photos were submitted to brides by Miss Hartman. No, it's Mrs. Hartman. Let me hit up the Royal Gazette. What they all here doing?
Whatever. But listen, Jamal, I also just want to make a mention and shout out to Samantha Aguirre, who's in the audience, who watches us and provided me with these earrings that I am wearing. So you can't see them.
Why are you hiding her earrings?
Well, can you see that?
No.
But check her out on Easel Studio, and hopefully she could put our information, and you can buy your wife some earrings as well.
I knew you was gonna start trouble with that. You know, brother ain't got no money. I'm broke. But anyway,
she's reasonable. She's wonderful.
Yeah. Thanks.
Congratulations, Nikki.
Oh yes, congratulations. Karen Simmons says congratulations to your wife, Mel. She's actually tuned in. Yeah, the Royal Gazette better put an R between that M and S. But anyway, I paid for that, bro.
Look at you getting down the trouble vein.
It's time for the Daily Play, brought to you by Bermuda Trivia. Now available at stores throughout Bermuda. Follow Bermuda Trivia on all the social media platforms: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, to find out why it's Bermuda's favorite trivia game. Sherry, are you ready?
I am.
All right. This is an easy one, folks. I want to see if the audience, well, they're not going to get this before Sherry. Sherry's going to show up. Sherry is going to show up. All right.
Okay. I love the energy that you're sending me,
No, you're getting this. Trust me. The final hint is going to give you the answer. All right, here we go, folks. Here's the Daily Play for today. What popular cocktail contains rum, sugar, lime, club soda, and mint leaves?
Moscow Mule. Mint leaf. Oh, a mojito. Sorry.
My goodness. Shucks. Don't act like you don't drink.
I did. That's
shucks.
Okay, I still got it though, Jamal. Jesus.
The audience, they were about to have you. Traveling Charlie, mojito. Diane Elliott said mojito. Karen Simmons, mojito. Yes. I said rum and you said Moscow Mule. Ain't that vodka?
The vodka. That is vodka, which is my favorite spirit. It is.
I'm like, I clearly said rum.
You see, I heard. Okay, I heard. It took a minute.
I thought mint leaves would have, like, giving you. She had me worried too, Nicole Walker. Now everybody knows me, although I don't drink the alcohol anymore. Mojito without the rum is my go-to signature when I'm not having a Heineken Zero. So
it was your face. I'm like, the mojito.
I was like, no, sir. I was like, I thought once I said mint leaves, I was like, I knew. Thank you, Renee Simmons. I was like, that's gonna give it away. Renee Simmons said I knew it by mint. I was like, yeah, the final hint, you got this when I said mint leaves.
Well, I got it then.
I was gonna leave that out. I wasn't gonna say, but I'm like, nah, because you can't have a mojito without mint leaves. But anyway.
Exactly. That would have been my argument.
Final thoughts on today's show. One is discussion. How can we rebuild confidence in Bermuda for Bermudians? And then obviously the great conversation with Keema.
I think we said it all. You again, with confidence and within yourself, but that can translate into outward into confidence for Bermudians. We're looking at jobs. You're looking at the government. It's such a hand-in-hand situation that could only be addressed that way, but starting within yourself and just making some changes within yourself, which again leads us to Keema. Wonderful conversation talking about heart, body, mind, and soul, or spirit, and being able to try to balance all of those things, tapping into who you are and listening to that voice inside and going with that and being yourself. And it's all about self, unselfishly.
Yeah, indeed. Real quickly, Karen Simmons says, I had faith in you, Sherry, just didn't want your time to run out. So your crew had you. I'll say this much. I'm glad that Keema's conversation carried on from the discussion. I believe that, as I said, I have confidence in the Bermudian people. I have confidence in us that we will find a way. We are a resilient bunch. We just have to act. I've been let down by Bermudians on more than one occasion. To this day, some still don't understand everything that was wrong with conscription, which is puzzling. But I do believe if we unbiasedly give ourselves a chance at the things that we know right from wrong in, we'll have a better opportunity. And that starts with, I said it last week on the first show of 2023, holding ourselves accountable. We can't hold others accountable until we hold ourselves accountable to a higher standard. We have the skills, we have the knowledge to exceed even our own expectations. And so with Keema, I am happy people like her exist. I am, because I feel like they are living examples and testimonies that we are the best solutions, not solution, to a lot of the problems we face. So if you are in a similar situation that Keema may have been in prior, reach out to her. Just have a conversation. I'm telling you, just her infectious energy and smile makes me a believer in myself. So appreciate that. Sherry, you've got any daily inspiration for us?
I do. Tomorrow is always another day to make things right. And that's from Lauryn Hill.
Yeah, if that day comes for all of us, it is. I agree.
Yes.
I agree. Anyway, thanks again to our partners, Medical House, One Communications, Lindos, and People's Pharmacy for ensuring that we're able to do this with you on a daily basis. As always, we appreciate you, we love you, and we thank you for making us part of your daily routine. If all goes well, we'll be back to do this again with you on Monday. Well, she's Sherry Vanderpool. I'm Jamal Hartman. My friends, please do make it a safe and a great weekend. We're out. Peace.